And to everyone who hates when I win.
I'm sure that you are aware that Disney casted Rachel Zegler to play Snow White. She is somebody who has openly admitted that she is not the biggest fan of the original film, and also she has been very controversial and political, and she has shared her hate towards Trump supporters. Now she is in the theater watching her film all alone. Check this out. You might think that she rented out this theater, but she didn't. People simply do not want to support Rachel Zegler after her behavior. We are going to take a trip down memory lane, and those who have showed up to watch the film are very disappointed, and people cannot stop talking about the really bad CGI. So here we have a real dwarf protesting against this film as well.
About just about anything. Well, why don't I begin a protest about the fact that Disney decided to use CGI dwarves? Not even the real thing. We could have gotten higher. We could have gotten money for something, but no. They're so ashamed of the CGI dwarves. They don't even have it on the first flyer. Well, it's time to make a movement.
Guys, I have been wanting to hire dwarves to make a YouTube video for you guys for a while. They are so expensive. We need to raise money so that I can hire 7 dwarves for the day. That would be so awesome, because how many times do they get an opportunity to be in a big film like this? I mean, Disney totally screwed them on this. I feel really bad, honestly. So everybody has been sharing old clips of Rachel Zegler and just the insane things that she has said.
And to everyone who hates when I win. The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Are you sure about that, Rachel? Are you sure about that? I don't know why she's making it all about her and not the audience, the people watching the show who want to feel the magic that comes from Disney. I mean, she just completely destroyed it with her attitude. And Wokeness got 15 million views telling people not to watch this film. I mean, Disney princesses are supposed to be so gentle and very feminine, and she's just all about the feminist movement, which is the opposite of those things. So then, of course, she talks about how much she hates Trump people, and then she says that she hopes Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. So here is an entire video of ways that Rachel Zegler has contradicted herself.
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and it is I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Wait, how long?
It's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like,
well, you kind of are, you know?
No, I guess
like
so.
Like Harrison Ford.
I'm Snow White!
Yeah, she's trying so hard to blend in. I'm Snow White, look at me.
Is that your favorite ride? I mean, that's a weird thing that you are Snow White now.
I mean, It's one of the original. I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
So it's like, it's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing. So it's just one of those things that comes with the territory.
Well, then if you love it, don't let them scare you.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
I'm a narcissist.
I don't think Disney has ever messed up this bad. So it sounds like they spent around $270 million on this film, and so far internationally it has brought in $87.3 million in the first weekend, and this article says that it doesn't even breach the low end of industry projections, which is a domestic opening of 45 to 55 million, and she's at 43 domestically. So I do think that a big part of it is just Rachel's behavior leading up to it. I don't know why she made it all about herself. I'm gonna read to you the post from the son of the Snow White's producer, Mark Platt. His son is Jonah Platt, and he commented this: "You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and the crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged." And I really agree with this, because there's so much that goes into the film, and it could have been the greatest film. The sets could have been awesome, the music, the storyline, everything, but because she was the main character of the film, I mean, that really got to her head, and then she made it all about herself, that it really did take away the magic from the film. And I kind of came up with an analogy for it. It's like, imagine you go to a really nice restaurant and you get the most delicious plate of food, and it is just so good. It has all of the perfect fresh ingredients, but then you find a hair in it. And then you're not going to be really able to enjoy the food as much, even if it's perfect and delicious, because you know that there's a hair in it. And Rachel Zegler is kind of like the hair in a delicious plate of food. I think people would have loved to have a Snow White remake, a live action one especially, but they just ruined it. And probably what we're gonna see in this little animation is going to be better.
Magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all?
Let's see. Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
I'm really sorry. I was just trying to be kind.
Kind? If you want to be kind, disappear and take...
I am so shocked by this. I mean, people actually have no chill. It sucks, because no matter how good everybody else, the thousands of people who worked on this film, they could have done the very best at their job, and the film still would have been ruined because of her. And they see the film like the last little clip that we watched, and that is the reason why packaging is so important. It's like the mindset that people have before they purchase something. And so people just really went into the film with the worst expectation. So no matter what, even if her singing or acting was perfect, people just weren't into it because of this.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part. That people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic
a Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Seriously, that is actually so ridiculous. And what is wrong with having a love story? That's the reason why people liked the original. And so she basically gave it away too. I mean, they could have kept it a surprise that it wasn't going to be a love story, and then people would have actually gone to get tickets. But instead, she basically gave it all away. And I'm surprised that there wasn't contracts or some type of form that would tell her what she could and couldn't say or talk about, or that they would do some type of training, media training for her.
Was gifted very good cheekbones from God.
Oh my gosh.
Which is something I thank him for constantly. When I was a kid, I used to manifest having cheekbones and dimples, and I got them both.
When she was a kid, she used to manifest having cheekbones and dimples. Oh my goodness. And she thanks God every day for her cheekbones. That is so ridiculous. And I just wonder if Disney is actually going to make some changes after this gigantic flop. So apparently Disney now, it has a show or movie, called Win or Lose. AF posted that it's the first explicitly Christian. It has one of the first explicitly Christian characters since 1996. So maybe Disney is trying to backtrack a little bit and not try to make everything woke. Maybe they're realizing that in many ways, when you go woke, you do actually go broke. And so they also cut a trans person from their storyline. I think that they're kind of starting to get the picture that maybe people don't want their kids watching these types of movies. And so they're trying to make it more relevant to American families.
And everything I do,
The Titanic music.
people will wait in line to see.
Turns out people were lining up for your film. They were actually lining their pockets up with extra cash, avoiding this catastrophe. Did you really think people would show up when you shit on the original film, made this film more about you than anybody else in the world? Turns out nobody wanted to hear your politics and only wanted a fucking movie. Now it's time for her to bust out the race card and label everybody a racist who didn't watch the film Snow White.
I mean, that actually sounds like something that she would do. Here you can see on Google, it has a 1.3 out of 5-star rating. Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 42%. You have 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. And it seemed like some of these ratings were bots, or like the comments were really weird. But all in all, people really hated this film. I thought about going to the theater to watch it and give a review on the movie. I just didn't really care to go. But if you guys want me to go there and sit through it and suffer like that, then let me know in the comments, and maybe I will go to the movie theater and watch this film and let you know what I thought of the storyline. But again, going into it, I already have just this idea that it's going to be bad. So I don't know if I'd be able to change my mind on that while watching it. Maybe the music is nice. I mean, the animals, they look cute. At least. Please make sure that you guys are subscribed. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.